match order here, but we were really eager to talk about this one because there was a lot of hype around this match. It's the California Clash, right? Or we'll find out. We'll see like what folks are going to be referring to this regional derby as, but we've been referring to it as that, right? On Attacking Third and at CBS Sports. So this Cali Clash at Angel City versus the Wave. Talk to me about some of your initial thoughts on this match, like the vibe, the energy about finally having these two teams officially introduce themselves to the league.
I mean, it was so exciting, right? This was the most anticipated game because it was two new sides that we hadn't seen before. It was the Cali Clash, the SoCal Royale, whatever you want to call it. I'm excited for all of these names that are going to come out. I like it to have a little bit of alliteration or rhyming scheme to it. So people go at it. Drop us your best names for the California teams in the chat. We want to hear what you have. This was a good match. It was a lot. There was a lot to take in, right? From when they dropped the starting lineups on Twitter right before the match happened to seeing that Abby Dahlkemper was going to be on limited minutes, Alex Morgan going to be on limited minutes, so not in the starting lineup. Because of that, it was automatically reaction to kind of what's going to happen, who's going to be out there. Of course, Christen Press. And looking at this, 4 cards coming out in this one, 4 yellow cards. We saw a lot of cards across this weekend, and it started in this one too. I liked what we saw. I mean, Kelsey Turnbow is a player that we've had our eyes on. She was drafted in 2021 to Chicago and then traded to San Diego. But I was very impressed with the level of play from both of these expansion sides, because in the past, expansion sides are not known for being dangerous, really, or having a lot of weapons, because you need depth, you need veterans, you need people that understand the league. And both of these sides, Angel City and San Diego, they have that. So it can make for a good match. I think it was a little bit of the Christen Press show for Angel City, but getting on the board first, who would have thought? Savannah McCall. I mean, tell me about this. Did you see this goal coming, right? We talked about the bingo cards coming into this one. What were your reactions to this matchup and even seeing the starting lineups and then how the first 15, 20 minutes of the match went?
Honestly, it just like I really loved the energy coming out of this one. You know, we all know that Angel City is going to be playing their regular season home games at Bank of California Stadium, and this one was going to be kicking off at Titan Stadium, right in Fullerton, California. But I don't think that took away from any of the excitement or joy that was centered in and around this match. You know, these are two teams that have been building up towards this moment, you know, for a long time, and for Angel City as the hosts, you know, of this one, even longer, right? They announced that they were going to be an expansion side in NWSL during the 2020 Challenge Cup, you know, so here they are in the third edition of this and getting things out. But even just looking, like you said, looking at those starting lineups and sort of seeing like who got called for their starting 11 from both sides of the pitch, you know, with Freya Kuhn versus Casey Stoney. And that was a little bit of a coaching battle that I enjoyed as well. And I think we were anticipating like what that was even going to look like, right? Because this is the first match for all of these teams across the weekend. So there were likely to be maybe some moments of lull, right? Maybe some moments of kicking off, some preseason rust, perhaps looking disjointed a little bit. And I think maybe the excitement, right, of that first 20 minutes in this match maybe kind of alluded to that, right? There was definitely a lot of vibes, no bid field going on, right? From back and forth. You know, we were just kind of like, okay, like this is what it's going to be. Everyone's just going to get out there and get a run out. But very, very exciting. And I think the big thing for me was, you know, finally being able to see, you know, Christen Press, right, on a starting lineup, making her return to NWSL action, you know, last playing in the league in 2019, playing overseas in 2020 with Manchester United, and now making her way back home, right? That was the big storyline around this. And not just her, but there were a number of like California kids balling out on this pitch. You mentioning Kelsey Turnbow, right? But Katie Johnson, I think also for San Diego Wave FC, I think on one side you're looking at a player like Press and sort of seeing what she's trying to produce for Angel City. But we got to see a lot out of Katie Johnson as well, trying to get on the board for San Diego first, really early on in that first half as well.
Yes, and no goals coming until Savannah McCall opened it up in the 49th minute, which was a great goal, right, to start all of this and kind of get things going. But I was very impressed with some of the rookies that we saw. I mean, we're talking about Kelsey Turnbow right now and Naomi Gurma starting in the back line. It was so interesting to kind of see it all come to fruition, because we've talked to Casey Stoney, we've talked to Freya Kuma about these clubs and how they want to build the foundation of their team moving forward, and what they need to put out on the pitch to do that. But the second half for me, when we started to see some of the rotation come in, that's when I got really giddy and really excited to see Alex Morgan and Sophia Jakobsen playing together. I'm very excited, Sandra. I'm very excited for this duo and what they have to come down the stretch. Honestly, Endo, I believe for Angel City, very, very good game out of them. I think that there's so much that bringing internationals into the NWSL game that provides, besides experience and anything like that. It's a different look. It's a different type of energy that they bring into this, wanting to play. I was really impressed with Endo. I think Jakobsen showed a little of what she can do. But ultimately, I think goalkeepers, they had a battle throughout this match. Kailen Sheridan had a really, really fantastic game. When you look at some of the stats for this match, 17 shots for each side, which very even, pretty impressive on that sense, I'm going to say. Saves, Didi Herrera had 3 saves. Kailen Sheridan, 5 saves. So big night for both of these keepers, battling against each other. Used to be on the same club and now on opposite ends. This was a good one, and ending in a 1-1 draw. We did not see that coming.
No, we like to pick winners and losers, right? On A3, right? We don't always like to lean into the draw, although maybe that first weekend of games, you're probably is best bet is to list out some draws, right? But I love that you mentioned the goalkeepers right now. Let's actually talk a little bit more about this match before we transition into the next match. When it came to individual performances, 1v1 performances, right? When we're looking throughout this match of Angel City versus San Diego Wave, I think really early on, we centered in on these 2 players as this sort of matchup to watch, because they both kind of set the tone pretty early. Christen Press versus Kailen Sheridan during this match, and maybe the sub honor can go to Katie Johnson versus Herrera, right? Looking at these kind of individual performances throughout this match. Again, coming up really early. We're talking like just 6-7 minutes into the match. McCaskill switching the point of attack, finding Press out wide. Press taking the space, right? Bullying off a defender and just letting this rocket fly. But Sheridan getting just enough on this one to tip it off of the post, right? And I think right then we sort of knew that we were in store for a little bit of a battle, and those 2 ended up sort of going head to head a little bit throughout the match. That's why it's our 1v1 battle to watch for the weekend.
It was such a battle, and we put Press a forward with a goalkeeper at Sheridan because Press was just bullying away from the defenders, right? She had them on her. They were trying to stop her, but that's the power of Christen Press, and that's why it's really fun to have her back in the league and in the NWSL, because she can be so dangerous. She gets just an inch of space, and she creates more space from herself from that with her touch, her angle that she approaches the ball, the distance that she can put between herself and the defender. And then it just comes down to the goalkeeper. And Kailen Sheridan had a really nice game against Christen Press. A lot to kind of take away from this, from both sides, both players. Christen Press needing to be a little bit more clinical in her finishing. Can she get a better shot, be more picky about which shot she's looking to take? I mean, she was just looking to shoot the one off the crossbar. That's great, but Christen Press, you got to hit those low and hard. Can you find the corner on them? And for Kailen Sheridan, I mean, her body positioning was good, but it's getting there before, getting set before the shot comes. And that's all about reaction time, because you know it's only going to come quicker and quicker and quicker from Press as she gets more into the groove of the season. I like this 1v1 battle that we're highlighting, though. Press, Sheridan, circle it. It's a good one to watch. And we get another matchup between these 2 in the Challenge Cup.
Yeah, absolutely. Press really putting on the shots, building up the stats, executing 7 shots, getting 4 on target, right? And then McCaskill getting the historic goal. Let's talk about defender goals maybe a little bit, because we saw those across the league, and we also still saw that in this game. Equalizer from Kaylee Real. I think, again, two unexpected players, I think, in this one, that people were wondering who was going to get the first historic goals in these matches. But lots to be excited about, I think, from both of these teams in the post game. A lot of good stuff coming out of there as well. I wrote up a little bit more about this match. You could check it out on cbssports.com. The California Clash is here. The Casey Stoney era is here. She had some great stuff coming out of her post game, so go ahead and check it out, defending her choices in terms of the roster that she put out there. And I love to see it. Love to see that energy from the coaches. Love to see the energy from the players. Looking forward to more matches from these two sides.